Warm-ups for April 17th. So are the following rational or irrational? So again, rational means you can write the value as a fraction using whole numbers. The square root of 6. Now, if it's a perfect square, then we can write the value as a fraction. But the square root of 6 I don't think is a perfect square. What times what gives you 6? It has to be the same number. So I'm going to take the square root of 6, and I get 2.4494. Actually, that's going to go on forever, and it does not repeat. So this is irrational. The second one is 0.45567. Because the decimal ends at some point, ends right here, that means I can write as a fraction. I just have to know the place value. And the place value, I put a 1 below the decimal, I go 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So it looks like it's going to be 100,000 as my denominator. So I'd write 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, or 45,567 over 100,000. There's my fraction. Because it's a fraction, it is rational. And the last one, by definition, is rational. 1/7 is a fraction. Although if you did divide it to get the decimal, it looks a little interesting. 1 divided by 7. You can see how this decimal almost looks like it might be irrational, but if my calculator went out further, I would see that it does repeat. It's 0.142857142857. The 3 is here because it rounded that value up based on the next digit. So this is a repeating decimal, and therefore we can write it as a fraction. So this is rational. All right, the next one, write the linear equation from the table. I look for a pattern. It appears that it goes down by 4 each time x goes over by 1. So I go y equals m times x plus b. And because it goes down by 4, I go y equals -4 times x plus b. And then to find the y-intercept, of course, I have to go back to where x is 0. So I follow my pattern backwards. And if I go backwards, it doesn't go down by 4. I'm increasing by 4. And I end up with 13. So y equals -4x plus 13 as my equation. Then, the last one, if I have a right triangle with leg lengths of 5 and 6, now in a right triangle, leg lengths refer to the two shorter sides. So this would be 5, this would be 6, and I'm trying to find what the hypotenuse is. So the next thing is apply the Pythagorean theorem, which is leg squared plus leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So I take one of my legs, which is 5, and I square it. I'm going to take the other leg, which is 6, and I will square that. Of course, squaring means to multiply by itself. So 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. And when you add them, you'll get the hypotenuse squared. So 25 plus 36 will give me 61. But that, of course, is not the answer. 61 refers to the area of this largest square. To find the side length, that's where you take the square root. So what's really happened here is I said the hypotenuse squared is equal to 61. To get just the hypotenuse, you do the square root of both sides. And the best answer you can give me is the square root of 61. But if you want the decimal, just take the actual square root of it on a calculator. You can see it's about 7.8 or so as your answer. Thank you.